Right.
All
Right.
right. Hey, everybody, this is Sharonda with She Rhyme, and I'm happy that I have another interview for you all. Today, I have Portland's own M3licious, who has been like on the scene forever. She goes out in the community, she's performing regularly, a great talented artist. Man, um, yeah, just a solid all around person as far as I know, you know. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. There's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. I did a cipher, and it seems like after that, there's so many opportunities rushing in. So I gotta like sort through it and make sure I do my things correctly. Right now, I'm more focused on, you know, BMI and getting things in order, getting things registered. I don't really have much up on the internet yet, but I have so much that I'm performing. So I want to definitely use my social media presence because people are asking, where are you? Where can I find you? And I don't want to make them wait too long.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now, but I really like what you're doing, how you're bringing women together because over the last, I'd say 3 years, I've been more focused on building relationships and whatever that looks like, partnerships, friendships, business with women. So
Yeah.
got me along and has kept me strengthened over the years. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I love how you do this for us. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. This is my heart and my passion. This is for me, but it's supposed to be about you. But I will say for everybody watching, this has been like my life and lifestyle since I was so young. You know, all of us trying to make it to the show, trying to get to the studio, trying to get in the cipher. As well as I feel like Portland's hip hop community is like a conscious community of like activists mostly. And so kind of outside of my household, being raised up by like hip hop activists in a way, you kind of learn, um, we always talk about the fifth element of hip hop, which would be knowledge. And it was important for us to keep that going. And so, I was like, how do I keep this going? Because it is always up to us. So I'm so happy that, you want to work together and do this. I'm willing to work with you anytime. And I know you're all over the place. I've seen that you're still out here gigging regularly and still making music, and getting your BMI together for your publishing, which is very important. I
Long time to figure out how to have your business in order, and I'm learning as I go, and I just wanted.
we have a sound, an audio issue. I cannot hear you right now. There we go.
Yeah, but it's really important for artists to do that the right way. So definitely, like I'm saying, focusing on the BMI. I'm learning more about sound exchange. I'm meeting some incredible people along the way that are like mentors, and they're giving me free game. So I'm excited. Learn something new every single day. And even though I've been doing it for a while, I still got a lot to learn.
Yeah. That's all very important. For me, it was as artists and people that allow themselves to be in front, we kind of are the examples for others. I say that to say I've watched other people's careers where artists would be forced into bankruptcy because the paperwork wasn't handled right, or they didn't understand things. Just from watching documentaries with some of the, famous celebrity artists that we know and love. And so it was like, how can I do that? And I used to go to the ASCAP Expo, went to that a couple times. which is always good to learn the music side of the business and to network with other artists and music executives that are in the industry. So yes, continue to do all that. I'm sure BMI probably has something that they do annually like that as well.
I have a friend that is, telling me how to go about registering with BMI, which I already got that, and, giving me tips on the next step. But he's telling me to get the lyrics on there now because he has like hundreds of songs and he hasn't even put the lyrics on there. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's helpful too. You can also copyright lyrics through the Library of Congress. And they'll send you like a registration certificate and all of that, which is also good to protect your stuff. So this is where I've been sitting for a long time. I don't know how it is when those major record labels come to you, if they want you with your paperwork or without your paperwork. I don't know how that goes. But for me, that's something that I would want to learn and be interested in, because I'm glad we can have this conversation as it being more than an interview, just because the information that's being shared. I can't hear you. I can't hear you right. Uh-oh. Hello? Let me, while you get that all together, let me see if I can get this for the people. You there? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you. I can't hear you right now, but
okay,
everybody, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I apologize for that. I should have put my phone on do not disturb. I think what's so funny is I don't really get much phone calls, but as soon as I'm trying to do something important, everybody wants to call.
Yeah. This is prime time too.
Mhm.
People start handling their business for the day. But I was saying, sometimes when people make it to that stage, I don't know what's that like, and you hear about all these stories where there's a dispute about masters and who owns their masters. And it's like, if I come in here with these sessions saved on this UMB, ain't these my masters if I already paid for them over at the engineer studio?
Right. You
So
would think.
that's something that I've always wondered. Like, what do you
I've noticed the same thing you're talking about. Like, you'll see those disputes going on and you're like, they should have owned their stuff, they should have knew their rights. But then, it's like they say, if you knew better, you'd do better. A lot of us don't know what we're doing. We're learning by trial and error or as we go. So it's just, if we can learn by other people's mistakes, that's great. And just try to implement that as much as possible.
Yeah.
I've seen recently, Kanye sampled a girl from posting a live video of her singing. And they're talking about how unfair that is. And I'm like, you just got to be really careful in social media these days. I mean, yes, it is hers originally. And here a famous person is sampling it and she's not going to get anything for it.
I saw that as well. And it made me wonder about the conditions that you are allowed, because I know there's a certain amount of words that you're allowed to say without citations. There's a certain amount of time that you can have, but I don't know when it gets down to like the mixing and changing the kind of the quality and sound of the track that does that. Like what's that? Because I mean, you could tell he altered it some, but I don't know if it's within the parameters of what the law does. And that's the other thing at the ASCAP Expo, they always have at least one seminar you can go to where they talk about what's going on with rape cases and protecting your creations.
Yeah.
Also, she was singing that somebody caught her singing that, but then the artist of that song was like, well, she was singing my song and she never said nothing to me about
Oh,
it.
yeah,
So
I
it's a
think this
whole
is the
nother
song.
thing. And so does it come down to the thinking about the melody and tune of the song, or is it the lyrics, or that's all very important. Being registered with a publishing company, they're the ones that are to protect you from someone. There's like covers and things or playing music at certain venues and whatnot that are registered with them as well. And also your radio and online streams.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. A lady from Atlanta, and she's here. She's a drummer, rapper, singer. She does all kinds of stuff, and her name's Madam Go Long. And she goes, "Look, I would love to work with you. I love you. You're phenomenal. But if you're not registered and you don't have your stuff in place and own your things, like, I want you to do that first before we collab or do anything." And she's actually doing me a big favor, you
yeah,
know. So that's good that you have people around you that hold you to a certain standard just because they want what's best for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. I love this. Just it's not often that you get to. I mean, I did have my time where I did this quite often with the ladies that I was rapping and working with.
Yeah.
So that is always it's good to have these because it's hard to find an outlet for this exchange of information. That's why I created this, so that I can make sure that I keep it going. I got something to focus on. It's a little engine right now on this thing, but I'm gonna keep on pushing it until my full vision, comes to life. And I wanted to say or ask, what have you been working on lately though? And then I want to get back into talking about the business, but I want to talk about your music.
Let's see what I've been working on lately. It took me a while to find a really good studio, and I kept getting bumped around from studio to studio. Well, first I want to back it up a little bit. I took a long break from music and went through so with the long break, I kind of like fell out of the scene and didn't really know where to start. So now that I'm back in and I'm doing these ciphers, I'm starting to meet more people that have connections, in the local music scene. So I'm in the studio now and I'm debating. I'm going to put out 4 to 5 songs. That's what I'm working on this Friday, getting those recorded. Um, Mixed and mastered. Some of them are recorded, and then we're going to go ahead and start putting stuff up on the internet. But moving forward, I mean, I had to start with what I had to get to where I want to be. So I started with YouTube beats and was like, all right, I'm just going to try to wing it and let me just do this until I could meet someone that could connect me with exclusives, and then I'll go from there. So with these songs and performing these songs, I now have that. So the next step after that would be recording and getting exclusives. Like I'm getting so much love. I just met a girl named Cadillac and she paid for my session. I've only met her once and she's like, I believe in you so much. You got to come over here. I paid. I want you in here. I want you doing this and that. So that was really super sweet of her. And that goes back to the women sticking together because me and her talk about that, you know. So so I'm working on my own stuff, and that's what it is now, because back in the day, I was part of a group. I did collabs, and at that time, I really didn't know how to branch out as a solo artist. And now that I've taken time and have gained experience and learned a lot and went through a lot, um, I feel more well-rounded and confident in stepping out and building my first solo project. So that's where I am right now. I'm like, okay, let me do an album or an EP. Some people still do mixtapes. I want to do it all. I almost said Sarah Palin.
Hey,
I
hey,
want to
the
do it
AKA
all. I want to do ciphers
yeah.
and when I got my little start again, see, a lot of people don't know this, but I'll share it. I went to rehab for a year and recently celebrated 3 years of being clean and sober.
Yeah.
And in that time, thank you. In that time, I really did a lot of soul searching, a lot of digging. Definitely music was therapeutic for me. It always has been. And in the recovery community, we had a group called Sounds of Recovery, where a lot of local artists came together that were in recovery and would share creatively. And that's how I got connected and was doing performances. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna step out and do some open mics. Shout out to Black Butterfly
Yes.
because she gave me that opportunity. And Sage of all trades, she gave me open mic opportunities, and then it just took off from there. I was like, okay, I have two teens. I have a son that's almost 18 and a daughter that's almost 17. And I told my son, oh, I'm so nervous about this cipher. And he was like, Mom, you got this. You ain't nothing new. It ain't new to you. You've been doing this.
Right.
Go for it. So they definitely keep me going with it. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am right now. There's so many things going on and it feels good because it's like it's only the beginning,
Yeah.
it feels like a new beginning for me, like being born again. And it's like the more now that I have that confidence and I'm stepping out and just going with it, the universe definitely meets your needs and lines you up with where you need to be.
Right.
Definitely. So yeah,
I
that's
feel
what I'm working
all
on. There's a lot going on, but something beautiful is going to come out of it.
yes. I feel all that you were saying. I know I kind of had faded out the scene and went into I'm a real estate licensed I'm a real estate agent as well now. So I had chilled out to work on that. And then trying to get back in, but also trying to keep popping at the same time was something. But I would also me thinking about getting older. My son is 21, and
Wow.
and he's
You don't even look like you'd have a 21-year-old.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But he's a music producer, and he plays the piano and the guitar. And so just thinking about, what he was doing, kind of wanting to say, okay, do I, need to slow down the pace? What else could I do or change, my once long-term goal around a little bit? But also when we were talking about the major labels and just so much, bringing up Black Butterfly, who I know and love. She has also handed me some great opportunities as well, and she's legend, living legend, and so just thinking about how the women on the hip hop scene here in Portland really do stick together and share opportunities, share connects and contacts, and keep each other aware of what's going on. And I was gonna say we have to, because being from Portland, like cracking that other glass ceiling, that could we just haven't broken out commercially and had commercial success like some artists from other places, and so that's why when you're talking about with trial and error, like I feel you on the having to get the beat off of YouTube, or even instrumentals from, another song and trying to make it happen. But we don't have too many people in front of us showing us, what to do. So, I felt all of that you were saying. And I understand. I'm like, oh, yes, girl.
Yeah. Speaking of branching out, like I definitely want to move to Seattle for a little bit. I've seen on your videos you did Gifted Gab, and I was like, oh hell yeah, yep, I'm getting on here and interviewing. I correspond back and forth with her on Instagram, and I said, look, I'm not no weird stalker, and I don't know if you'll hear this message, but I have dreams of meeting you. And I have dreams of living in Seattle, and it's so crazy. And she's like, well, we got to make it happen. So I would definitely love to go up there just to experience it and get in the music scene for a little bit. And eventually, like, go on some mini tours. Like, we're already talking about doing stuff like that. So it's like right now I'm in the middle of it, like developing the merch, working on a logo, thinking about, plotting and planning on what to do next. Because don't get me wrong, I love my city, but I feel like things got to be done differently, and I can't tell other artists how to do things because I'm learning. But what I can do is show them and
Yeah.
lead by example. And at least, we only live this lifetime once. It's not going to hurt us to get out and tour. I feel like if we want to go from being local to regional to global, that's what we have to do, and just go for it, take a risk. You got nothing to lose. So that's one thing I look at too. I look at, like you said, you took a break, and so did I. There are some people that have been consistent in that space, and I feel like they haven't really progressed as much as I think they should have, even if they are incredibly talented or they work hard. So now it has me wondering, okay, well, what do we do differently? If we want different, we got to start thinking and moving different.
There
So
are a lot of artists here, and what I've noticed, our scene here does have a lot of non-locals, but so the scene, it changed quite a bit, and so it just you know, to get used to take some footing in it and see, but that's how we should move. Like we just need to get everybody out here and be like, yeah, Portland is in the house, we got M3licious and we got,
thank you.
I'm saying, like,
sure.
But so I hope y'all get that done. She's amazing. She is so down to earth. I was so nervous when I was interviewing her. I'm always nervous anyway doing these because my mind be going so fast thinking about, and I'm trying not to interrupt you because I get excited at certain parts. I'm like, oh yeah, I just relate so much, and so I just kept stumbling over my words, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't even remember when. Because I believe I met her prior to the time I met her, but I don't remember when that time was. I think it might have been in Seattle, in Rosemont. We used to do a lot of ladies' night shows or ladies sets. You know about that type of that.
Yeah, you guys, your stage presence and how you performed was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, even to this day, I'm like, man, I'm slowly beginning to move and do stuff on stage, but you guys were amazing performers.
I think being in a group, I often compare rapper girls to athlete girls. I call us tomboys, kind of. It's a different style because you think tomboy, you think sports and stuff, but it's like, it's competitiveness. So it's like, even it's friendly. And so I feel like that kept the energy up when we were on stage performing together rather than just one of us by ourselves. We both like, we got to keep this all in sync. So if she turned up, I got to turn up too, or I got to turn up more, and so it would, I mean, that's what it was, and it was a lot of fun. But I was going to say, I was talking about Gab, and I think her and Karma, and I think Aaliyah Zen had like a cipher together or a collaboration. And I think that's when I was really caught by her, and I was like, oh shoot, she's dope.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all can get that going. I hope Seattle's good for you. I know they have a good scene up there.
Yeah, I've went up there a few times and I've met local people and they're like, come up here, you need to come up here. And um, one thing I will say is, for me, my dreams mean a lot to me. I do dream interpretation, and this may sound weird to some people watching, but I've always been a prophetic dreamer. So I dream of things, or a precognitive dreamer before they happen. So Seattle keeps popping up, and I'm like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
going to Seattle, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to meet her and everybody else up there. But I want to at least get, this goes back to what we've been talking about, my business in order and be the full package before I go up there and start,
Mhm.
making moves, doing stuff like that, which will
Exactly.
be soon.
It saves time when you can just hand somebody the stuff and give them that look.
Yeah.
This person is what I do. So
Yeah.
it's ready. Um,
Yes. And it's
an
crazy because
announcement when you
people,
tell coming, it's on the way. Um, and Seattle is also a music city historically.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
And so I know you're from the north. As
Mhm.
what did you go to Roosevelt then?
Oh no, I was a bad kid. I went to Open Meadow High School.
Okay.
So Open Meadow Middle School, Open Meadow High School, and that's where I met Roulette Delgado. And that's
Yeah.
where I first started coming out rapping. We were at a diversity training and he was rapping against one of his cousins. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bust out and say something. So I did. And people were going crazy. And he came up to me after that and he tells the story today and he goes, I wonder if, would you be down to do this not car show, this talent show? And he said, I was like, I don't know. Like, I got to see what I got going. I don't know. I'll let you know. And we laugh about that, but he was the first person that I started doing music with and doing talent shows with. And that's where I got my start. But to go even back further, when I was in third grade and the Brat came out with Functified, I was like, that's it. I'm going to be a rapper when I grow up. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going to do. So
And
I used to rap all her lyrics. Yep. And I just loved how she was a beautiful, tomboy. She wasn't showing off her body and she still, had bars. So I loved that, but I kept it on the low what I was doing and I really didn't share with anybody until high school. And then when that came out, it's like, okay, yeah, that's where I met him. So we've known each other for over 20 years.
yeah,
And it's honored to have him as like a mentor or for him to like give me tips or to always be there whenever I want to work together with him. He's super talented and it's just been an honor to watch him grow over the years because he's been talented since day one and
oh,
he's natural.
yes, girl. The first time I heard him sing, I was like, and you sing?
Right, you're like
Then,
singer Luther.
then when I saw him, we were doing these BET auditions, and
Uh-huh.
he was dancing. That was my first time seeing him dance, and
Mhm.
he's a big guy. So when you
Yeah.
see a big guy up there tearing it up and and it's like what else do you have in here? Like, and I know I always see you guys together. So I know that you guys are very tight, which is good. And still
Yeah.
from meeting him at open was it at Open Meadows? But meeting
Yeah,
him
Open
there
Meadow High School. Yeah, it was really different there. It's not around anymore, but it was a high school that overlooked the St. John's Bridge
yeah,
and it was in the old Benson and Cheney mansion. But they put a lot of emphasis on like community service and art and all kinds of things. It was just a really good school and sometimes public schools don't work for people and we just ended up meeting there. There was a lot of talented kids in that school.
yeah.
Lots. And
That's
we were
why
a few
the
of them.
arts are important because they really do help you. They help. At least for me,
When I was leaving that school, or when I graduated, they were doing budget cuts. A lot of our funding came from public schools, but they were cutting out art and music. And we didn't understand that, because I feel those types of things are very important and should never be cut out of life, especially education.
Yeah. And I wanted to say I was very inspired by the Brat as well. She did not have the lyrics in her CD inserts, so I like hand wrote them things. But
Yeah.
she inspired both of us. She was also the first female rapper to earn a platinum plaque, you know, and that's why it's important to have my movie exhibition
Yeah.
here.
Love it.
So yeah, she's
You
dope.
know, when I think of my influences, it is like a lot of old school West Coast women, you know, like back in the day. But then I can't forget, you know, she's from the Chi, and I'm like, well, you do got an influence from Chicago, you know, don't forget that.
And Atlanta as well. Well, I guess as far as musically, we tend to enjoy that stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, but her sound though, Jermaine Dupri with So Deaf, you know, and you know, in the way that she raps and writes her cadences, I think that around that time she had some influence by the West Coast hip hop as well. I don't know. I should ask her one day, hopefully. But yeah, who else? You said some of the West Coast rap artists.
Oh my. I think let's see, there was Marvelous, there was the Conscious Daughters, there was Sugar T. Let's see, who else was there? Passion from the Bay Area. Let's see who else. There was JV. Not a lot of people have heard about her. She was in the Latino hip hop community and did shows at you know, lowrider car shows. So I would say people like that, you know. My mother, she was the one that would be listening to them. And I was just blown away about you know, women from the West Coast that were actually out there holding it up, you know, in a male dominated industry, and doing really well. But I still listen to them to this day, and it's like, damn, this is where it started. This is where my influences come from.
Yeah.
Let's see if I could. I'm pretty sure I got some males in there, but I like to focus more on the females because, of course, those are the women.
Yeah. And I feel like especially when we were growing as artists, sometimes it would seem like you had to fit a certain image if you wanted to break through commercially. So I'm excited about where it is today, because and that's another reason why I had it in mind to do this. Like, well, how can we make this different? Or I tried to write things that were in contrast to whatever else was going on to set myself apart, you know, to, I guess, open a new lane of some sort. And so I think that with us having so much variety out there now, I forgot where I was going with this, girl, my bad. But
no, it's okay. You know, another thing that's important too, I'm starting to realize, is with times changing and technology picking up, it's also good to be connected to the youngsters as well, you know, because those are the ones that are keeping me current and hip with how to integrate, you know, what I'm trying to do, but also be caught up with how they're doing it. So yeah, it's another good thing.
Yeah.
I say it like I'm old. I'm not old, but you know what I mean. Like I'm not in my 20s either.
Yeah. You know, I was like, okay, she was on the Brat in the 3rd grade, you know. Girl, I was in
that's where it started, you know. And then I used to copy her lyrics, and then one day I was like, why don't I just write my own? You know, why don't I just start writing whatever I feel? And it started with poetry. and then it went to like doing spoken word, and then I started rapping. So now today I'm integrating again where I started. So spoken word, poetry, a cappella, rapping, like all that all around, you know, like I did a few shows recently and posted some videos, and you know, I had my beats, but it was more of like a poetic flow, you know, or like even Shrista was like, "Have you done poetry slams before?" No, I haven't, but not to the public, but yeah, I just wanted to put everything together and just do it the way now that makes me feel good, you know.
Yeah. This is you. I know you've got a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Between the poetry and producing the hip hop songs and everything, how you're trying to direct your business. So I'm excited to see how you grow and flourish with that. And I'm just gonna be looking forward to hearing the music from you. I do want to get back out and go to more shows myself here.
Yeah, that's the thing right now too. It's like as soon as, you know, we can't stay inside forever. And as soon as we get out to do things, the numbers with, you know, the Delta variant are rising. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, okay, should I pull back from shows and just get myself in the studio more? It's important to be safe, but at the same time, like you said, you want to get out too. It's really hard to completely stay indoors, you know, out
Sure,
of fear.
for sure.
Yeah.
So let's see. What do you have coming up next? I know there's been shows going on still. Are you booked
Mm-hmm.
this weekend?
On Friday, I got a show coming up at the Big Legrowski. It's part of the micro trip. It's a couple dope MCs. They're males going on tour, and they're starting this Friday here and then going to Vegas and Seattle. I almost went with them, but you know, not this time. And then on the 18th, we got a big show coming up for people in recovery, and that's with Idris from the Block Business. And there's like 35 people on the roster, but it's going to be outdoors, and it's at Revolution Hall, and we're raising money to give toys, school supplies, and coats to the children. So we're all coming together. You know, it's crazy. I'm in a group chat and it's going to be bananas, but we got a lot of people that are going to be there. And I think even someone that I remember rapping back in the day, Mischievous, is going to be performing there as well. Yeah, yeah.
You see, that flyer. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a lot of artists here. You know,
Yeah, and girl, I'm just looking at it as an opportunity to do something good and to share my gifts with everybody that's there and just connect with people, you know. One thing I did learn in recovery, they taught us that the opposite of addiction is connection. And as hard as it was for me over the years to bridge gaps and connect, it's also saved me. So I feel like, all right, let's just get out and connect with as many people as possible and see where life takes us.
for sure, for sure.
And then on the last Sunday, I have a showcase coming up with FIA. It stands for Faith is Your Answer. Tamara, that sounds like I'm saying tomorrow. Her real name is Tamara Walker. You may have heard of her, but she hosts these comedy shows and these music shows, and they're really, really, really dope. So she heard me and asked me if I wanted to come and do it every month, and I committed to that. So I got 3 shows coming up.
That's good.
Thank you.
So hopefully I can make it out to 1 or 2 of those. So I
Yes, it'd be
can
lovely to see you.
amongst the people, see what else is going on. So that would be great. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Hmm. Let's see. There's so much. Not, oh, okay. I just want to say for any, for my women, just want to give a shout out to women here. Don't hold back. Always believe in yourself. Step out in faith. Shine. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. If you're gifted and talented, no matter what it is, if you always wanted to write something and share it, this is your sign. Just get out there and shine. That's all I could say. Believe in you. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And I know that sounds cliche, but when you actually believe that and do it, you'll be thanking me later.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, good luck with everything. I'm going to be waiting to hear information about the tour.
Thank you. I'll be in the studio this Friday. I'm on somebody's EP and we did a song. It's Diction Uno and Wino. I met them through PDX Hip Hop Collective and at a Cypher. So I'm coming out with a song with him. Right now I am doing collabs and I'm pretty much in the studio every Friday. So can't wait to put that stuff out. Oh, and one more thing, keep an eye out on the internet because now that I'm getting my business in order, music is going to be up for everybody to stream.
All right, that's great. So y'all, when that goes up, stream it. You can stream some now on SoundCloud if you want to. It's M3licious, but instead of it being M-E, it's a 3 right there. So make sure you spell that right. Check out her music, follow her on Instagram, and visit our website, sherhyme.com. Follow us on all the socials. Let me know if you want to connect on anything. Send me emails, sherhyme@lenterprises.net. That's LYNNTERPRISES.net. And y'all have a good day.